I'm joking. I'm
Nice,
joking.
Evan.
Somebody's gonna cut.
That's
Somebody's
not
gonna
cool,
cut
Evan.
that. Somebody's gonna cut and split the episode, and they're gonna send it out to the news outlets, and I'm gonna get
Yeah.
canceled by all
Yeah.
9 listeners.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna get canceled. Yeah, by the media. Hey everybody, welcome back to Multiplayer Vault, brought to you by Baritone Studios. I'm Sky,
And I'm Evan.
and today is our discussion episode, part 2 of Overwatch discussion episode, because the last one sucked.
I'd argue that just like Overwatch 2, it's more of an Overwatch 1.5. This is more of a 1.5.
We were not happy with how the last Overwatch episode turned out, were we, Evan?
I mean, I thought it was fine, but here at Baritone Studios, we have a firm, dedicated team in charge of making sure our content is quality.
And their name is Francis.
And it was, yes, it was Francis. So
Yeah, Francis was like, this sucks, you guys gotta do another one. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah, so first off, we want to apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for the Chippendale
Yeah, me neither.
tirade. I
I
just
don't regret that.
right thing, wrong time. Wrong place.
Evan just regrets that he didn't know what vehemently was. That's the only thing he regretted from that episode.
Vehemently. Look, we're growing. And I've played Overwatch 2, finally. I can
And that.
finally say I've
That
played
too.
Overwatch. So
Since then, we have expanded our horizons, which is to say that we downloaded a free game and actually played it.
and now it's our personality.
Yeah, now it's actually our personality, and I can't go 1 second without playing it. So, for some background for the audience, if you haven't listened to our Overwatch duo episodes, I had played Overwatch just a little bit, and Evan had not played Overwatch at all. So that's why.
I played 10 minutes, like 2 or 3 matches on an ex-girlfriend's laptop 4 years ago.
Yeah, don't interrupt me ever again. But yeah, that was our
Okay.
limited experience, and that was the root of the problem of why the discussion episode was subpar. But now, since Overwatch 2 came out and is free to play, Evan and I and some friends have been playing the absolute crap out of it. So Evan, what do you think? First time Overwatch player?
I just remember playing that very first 2 games that I played. I got played the game, and that was awesome.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
yeah, as Torbjorn. It was
Was-
Torbjorn.
you? Yeah,
Um,
you got it. Yeah,
It's a callback to the profile episode.
from like 4 months ago or something.
But no, it is so fun, and I feel like the game market is so not diluted. That's the opposite. Saturated.
You
Game
say
market
this
is.
every episode.
What was I gonna say?
You say that the game industry is saturated every episode.
Saturated in what though? That's the question.
In what? What do you what?
You
Now
didn't
you're
let me
just making
finish.
Stuff up.
No, you said,
Alright,
dudes.
fine.
You always
Okay, saturated with what, Evan?
battle royale games.
Okay, but you say that you said that in the Fortnite and the Apex episode.
I'm saying the game industry is so saturated with battle royale games that it's nice to have a breath of fresh air as somebody who has not played Overwatch ever to come into this game and have it free and on Game Pass and very accessible to the public while also presenting a very good game.
I don't think it's on Game Pass.
It's free, whatever. Actually, I don't think it is on Game. It doesn't matter. Free Game Pass. It's
It don't matter. But yeah, I mean, I played Overwatch 1 before a little bit, a couple times. I played with Francis. I played with our friend Alex. That was fun, and I didn't really get into it, or at least didn't get a role in a team until I played Overwatch 2, and I am the designated support player, and that's a lot of fun because there's no pressure to actually kill people in the game, so your effect on the match is not tied to a numerical value, so there's a lot less pressure there, and I really like it, and that's my experience with Overwatch 2.
I thought it was awesome. Normally, coming from like Battlefield and a lot of these other games where there's also these different classes, I normally play either the medic or the support. And, sometimes I do play support on here, but playing DPS is like, that's my role. And I think it's awesome. I can just do it. I don't have to worry about dying because Sky is a super good healer. Super great. Super,
Aw, thanks,
super,
Evan.
super okay.
And you're kind of alright at killing people, I guess.
Thanks.
You do your best. But yeah, that's our updated experience with Overwatch 2. Before we were just like, oh, what's happening? I've never played this game before, and now we're I'd say seasoned veterans. I'd say we could tell you everything there is to know about Overwatch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Evan, you said before we started recording that you had gotten reacquainted with the lore of Overwatch.
I
What
did.
struck you as the most standout part?
Well, I did a little bit. I did some more, even more reading into just some of the actual game development and how the team was very adamant on trying to make a game that stood out in the game market, particularly like the post-apocalyptic world, because the Overwatch takes place in like the 2070s. It's like the very near future. And so you're playing this game and you're like, man, there's just all kinds of robots. Like this isn't very realistic. But then you start thinking about it, and I mean, even think about like VR and all that kind of stuff and how much technology has changed the last 5 years. Robots could happen here very soon. And the fact that, as you have mentioned several times, I'm not going to take this away from you, but you love how the Omnics created their own culture. Like that's cool, but also very scary.
Probably the only good part of the last discussion episode was my point about how different the Omnics are from other robots in like pop culture. You know, instead of becoming like, oh, they're striving to become more human, they're like, no, we're going to make our own thing and you guys are different. And so are we. We're made up machines, so we're gonna have our own deal over here, and I thought that was really cool.
I mean, it all essentially takes place on Earth. There's the little bits on the moon, like that's where.
That's where Winston's from.
Mm-hmm. And also the hamster ball guy.
Is he?
Yeah. Remember, because they like both rode back together on Rocket.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I mean that makes sense. If we could get another guy from there, that would be cool.
I think we talked about this too, about how we want another
Yeah,
animal.
we want another animal character.
What did we
like
decide?
A support. I think we said like some sort of bear, maybe. I mean, I said that because obviously.
I think I said either like an amphibian. Oh, or no, I think I said like a snake, but with like robot arms, because we don't have any reptiles or amphibians or anything. But
yeah, put a dragon in Overwatch too.
Ooh,
That's our that's just some kind of genetically modified lizard so that it spits fire. There's not many fire characters in Overwatch. We need to remedy that. So yeah, I guess we can segue that into the animal characters like Winston and how he started. Winston, he's like the monkey guy, and he was like, hi there, and he started Overwatch again. So I mean, you got Monkey Guy. Monkey Guy is starting to, well, to be clear to our listeners who haven't played Overwatch, Winston is a gorilla. He's a sentient talking gorilla who's really smart. He came from the moon, and now he's like one of the leading members of Overwatch.
I'd argue that even if you don't really know that much about Overwatch, you've at least seen or kind of know of Winston. I think he's up there with like Tracer and Mercy.
He's certainly a central character.
Correct. He's also very large.
Yeah, he takes up a lot of space, so
he's also
it would be hard to miss him. Really, any sort of gorilla animal character catches the eye, and that's what I really like about Winston and most animal characters. Just that it doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing. If you're an animal character, you stand out.
Now, one thing I was thinking about the other day is, I guess technically it's Overwatch 2, so it's not Overwatch lore, but I was thinking about where Kiriko was going to be fitting in.
It's Overwatch lore.
Close enough, yeah.
She's related to Genji and Hanzo, and I'm not saying that just because she's from Japan. I'm saying that because in the storyline, she is actually connected to the Hamada clan and Genji and Hanzo.
Okay.
I think I heard somewhere that she's like their cousin, maybe, but that could be completely wrong. I'm not up to date with the Overwatch lore. I'm only up to date with what Francis Research and I wrote. And then Junker Queen, so there's two other heroes. Junker Queen, who's from Australia. She's like the leader of Junkertown. So if you listen to our last Overwatch episode, Australia has basically become like a nuclear wasteland where a bunch of crazies live, and Junker Queen is the leader of all them, and she...
It's like Mad Max.
But yeah, like basically Mad Max. How did I not see that connection before? Like that's obviously, yeah, they're Australian and they're in like a nuclear wasteland in the I'm an idiot, but anyways, yeah, obviously that's Mad Max inspired. And so yeah, that's where Junker Queen comes in. She's just the leader of the Australian crazies and the whole deal with Junkrat and Roadhog and all them. And now Sojourn, I am not familiar with lore wise. Are you, Evan?
Not really. Let me see if new here. Ooh, there's a video on it. We'll watch that later.
Yeah, we'll watch it after we finish our discussion.
Origin story. From soldier to Overwatch captain to veteran, Sojourn has devoted her life to helping those who would be made victims by the evil of the world. Her extensive cybernetic augmentations enhanced her innate strategic skills, and prowess on the battlefield, which has made her Overwatch's most skilled tactician. Now on her own, she faces new challenges and new dangers. I didn't really
Okay,
give
that's
us
like
anything.
The most boring synopsis I've ever
that gave
heard.
us.
I mean, it sort of mirrors her as a character in the game because she's a good character, but she's kind of bland, I guess, because like okay, she in Sojourn is a character that has like all these cybernetic bits, and she can slide around, and she has this really cool gun, and she, she's a really good DPS, probably one of the best DPS in the game. It's just there's just not all there to her, right? Like you hear I mean you can hear her and go, okay, that's the most generic soldier person voice ever. And so yeah, that's Sojourn. Yeah.
Ooh, so during the Omnic Crisis, Sojourn was in Toronto, came under siege by the Omnics, did not leave the city, and the only available resources there during the invasion was Overwatch, so she kind of made her own unit because she wasn't exactly happy with the way that they responded. And basically, it looks like she was the one that helped create the Special Forces unit, which was then later led by Jack Morrison. So
Cool.
she had a pretty close connection with Jack Morrison.
I mean, it makes sense. They're similar, I guess, in the way they're portrayed.
Very similar guns too.
Yeah, I mean, they both have like rifle machine guns,
Jack Morrison is Soldier 76, everyone, if you didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, shame on you if you didn't know. I mean, come on now. This is old news.
I had to double check. I couldn't remember.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm a Torbjorn player. That's all I don't know what's going on. I'm short.
Yep, that's the only defining feature of Torbjorn, not his big metal arm or the fact that he like spits fire or something.
Ooh, it looks like she also helped plan Doomfist's arrest.
Oh, very cool. Are we just rattling off Sojourn facts now?
I'm just on the
is this the episode?
I'm on the page, yeah.
You're on the Sojourn wiki?
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Technically, it's a fandom.
Whatever. All right, let's change the subject. This is boring. What are we? Dadgummit. What was I gonna talk?
Trying to think about what we didn't say last time.
What we didn't say, we didn't talked about the Omnics, and then everything else is pretty much fair game because we didn't talk about anything.
We talked about Genji a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about Genji a little bit. So maybe we can talk about Overwatch and Talon. So Overwatch, right? Overwatch, the premier rootin' tootin' organization. It's Overwatch. It's what the game's named after. But then you have Talon, who are the bad guys. They're like the subsect criminal organization. And then in the game, here they are fighting together. I didn't really find any connection to that, which I found interesting.
Like within the actual game.
Is there any lore precedence for the game itself happening?
I don't think so. I think it might. I can't speak for all the voice lines, but I feel like it's a lot like Rainbow Six Siege, where both sides will be fighting each other, and you have people on the same team that are within the game, within the lore, are mortal enemies. So I just don't really think it matters. And that kind of brings me to the maps too. I don't really think there's a ton specifically about the maps with the lore itself. Like I know it just takes place within all these different places, and there are some little snippets of, oh, it's kind of connected to this character because they're from the same country. But there's not really a lot to connect within the actual gameplay itself. And maybe that's just because it is such a heavily multiplayer game.
Well, it strikes me strange because I've researched a lot of these games, and normally the game, for a sort of disparity like this, there's normally a in-lore explanation for why the game happens, right? Like for Fortnite, it's the loop, right? For Apex, it's the Apex games. And Rainbow Six Siege is because they're training for the Invitational or something.
That's
I don't know what's
that's where
going
they
on with
work.
that game
That's where they are
anymore.
currently. We've come full circle.
Whatever. But in Overwatch, it's sort of like, yeah, you're just in this place, and then there's these characters that we picked out from the lore, and we're gonna pit them against each other and give them different stuff and go have at it, which I found interesting because that's surprisingly very uncommon in these types of games, because you would think that somebody trying to make a multiplayer game would be like, the story is blah blah blah, whatever, here's the game. Then you get into it and it's like, oh wait, these guys have actually thought this out of why this is happening. Sometimes it's well explained, like Fortnite, where some would say it's a little over explained, and then sometimes it's not, like in Siege or not in Siege, or wait, not in Overwatch, in Siege, where it's just there you go. That's the deal. Yeah.
I'll say I do appreciate it though, in that they don't shove it down your throat. I know, like you said, like Fortnite, it seems like they just are constantly egging you on to try and I can appreciate picking up the game and not feeling like I'm left out of what's happening. If I just want to be, if I want to be
really nice.
if I want to be a gorilla fighting a hamster, or a guy with a
blue
hammer,
sniper.
She's purple.
Oh, she's purple. She looks blue. Isn't her skin? We're talking about Widowmaker, by the way.
Right,
The
yeah.
sniper, the titular sniper character. Isn't her skin blue?
That's purple. That's purple.
Okay.
It's close. It's close enough that I'm like, but it's purple.
We're not going to argue about colors in an audio podcast, but it's blue. But anyways,
It's purple.
It's okay. But anyways, we're moving on. What was the point? I was going to talk about Talon. Yeah, I was going to talk about Talon. So going from the why are these people fighting together if they hate each other, we're moving on to Talon. And Talon is the evil organization. They do all crimes and stuff. They're led by Doomfist.
Wait a second.
Talon. What?
Farah is Anna's daughter?
Are you still reading the wiki?
What?
What? Sure, yeah, okay.
I didn't know that.
Are you even paying attention to what I'm saying?
No, I really have. I was just like,
Okay.
for a second, I zoned out and my eyes just landed on the fact that I didn't know that. I play a lot of Farah too.
Because even though I'm not actually saying anything, you should still be listening to what I have to say. I'm just workshopping conversations right now because I feel like I came up with my one good tangent in the bad discussion episode, and now I feel like I'm kind of floundering because I don't really have it, because I don't want to rehash my points about
Well, then
the
we won't force
how cool
it.
they are.
I don't think we need.
Yeah, don't force it.
We don't need to force it. Like I said, the maps don't really. If you know what's going on in the story, then when you get to certain maps, you're like, oh, that's what's going on. Like, for example, when you get to the Australian map and you see that it's just kind of like a barren wasteland, you're like, oh, that's because it's essentially Mad Max. Like, Overwatch does not shove its story down your throat, but I appreciate it because they present it in a way that you don't feel lost. You don't feel like, like me, having not really played Overwatch 1, you don't feel like you're out of place. I mean, besides, Overwatch players don't typically talk about the lore because they're, Overwatch players.
Too busy being mad at each other.
Or making fun of the tank.
Oh, I do have one good thing. One actually, meaningful thing to say about Overwatch. It's very similar to Siege and how diverse its roster is.
Yes.
You know?
That was something else I wanted to bring up too.
Yeah, even more so than Siege, because not only do you have people from all over the world, you have animals from the moon and all these different types of afflictions. Like what's his name, Reaper, is like caught between dimensions or something, and now he's able to teleport around and be all creepy.
I mean, I feel like it's even more like unique and individual based because it's not like Siege where quite a few operators do use the same weapons.
And a lot of them blend together too.
They really do. You know, kind of like how I thought Bastion and the
Pathfinder.
and Pathfinder, yeah, were the same robot. You could get confused with some Rainbow Six Siege operators.
I still don't get how you could confuse Pathfinder. They're both robots. That's about all I can say.
They are both.
They have eyes that glow.
They both have 2 legs, and
I talked about this in the Apex episode, but Pathfinder looks way more like like the
we are going to leave
Mass
this
Effect.
in the Apex episode. We're going to leave it in the Apex episode. But in Siege, it's very confusing sometimes, especially when you're playing and it's happening live, and you're like, I don't know who that was. You see somebody in Overwatch and you know exactly who they are right then and there. And I really like, I mean, just how we found what role on the team that we wanted to play, but also within that what characters, because, you know, there's a lot of characters that you might relate to based off of your personality, but that may not be who you're really good at or who you enjoy playing. And that's what I do like about Overwatch, is that every weapon is unique for the most part. Every ability, you know, the characters are from, it doesn't feel like it wasn't well written or it was rushed. Like, it seems like they're all very well planned out. They're all interwoven in the lore. Like, I love it. I just also like the fact that it's not thrown in your face every 5 seconds.
What isn't thrown in your face every 5 seconds?
The lore.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the point of the show, Evan. Not a lot of games don't throw it in your face, right?
Well, but I mean, what the points that we were making earlier about how you could just jump in and not feel like what's going on.
I must not have been listening to you earlier, because that doesn't track.
Must have been reading the
wiki.
Wiki.
You must have been reading the wiki. Yeah. but I mean, I would say that most of these games you could not know what's going on and still play them, right? Even Fortnite, which is like the most in your face multiplayer lore game ever, is still, you can still coast and not know what's going on. But I think what you're trying to say is that this game especially, you can do that because the lore basically has no, besides the funny little interactions, little voice interactions at the start of the game between the characters, there's pretty much no lore insertions into the game itself.
The world of Overwatch is ripe with tiny stories of heroism, justice, and villainy, and it's far from over. With every new hero released and new comic drawn, we get a little further.
Is this better than the last discussion episode? I feel like this is a sort of a downgrade in some ways.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna force it.
I feel like we should force it though, because this one.
Okay. What are we gonna force? What are we gonna force? What are we gonna force without going directly into every single one of their bios?
Okay.
That we
all right,
didn't
Evan.
talk
Let's
about
talk about
time.
one character whose bios we each liked. Okay. Let's go into that. What's your favorite backstory for a character? He's looking at the wiki again, I swear to God.
No, I'm looking at the list of characters.
In the wiki. All right, are we gonna sit here and wait?
Okay.
For you to read all the bios?
No, I'll say
your favorite one.
Evan,
first we're gonna narrow it down.
No, I'm scrolling
Evan's top 10, and then we're gonna go from there.
I don't think I've ever even played 10 characters. I'll say that Widowmaker's, while it isn't original, it is entertaining, in that she's the evil sniper turned.
So why don't you explain her backstory to us, Evan? Unless you don't know and you just made that up.
No, so she was a member of Talon.
Before that.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so let me
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
So Widowmaker, I forget her old name, but she was the wife of the Maximilian guy, right? And Maximilian was a French operative of Overwatch, and he was killed by Talon, and she was kidnapped and turned into the blue hollow sniper lady.
Purple.
Okay, purple, whatever. And that she is now. And she was made purple/blue because she wouldn't turn up on infrared sensors, I believe.
As soon as she became that sniper, she's the one that took out Anna's eye.
She killed the Omnic guy. What's his name? He started the crap. How am I blanking on this right now? Now I gotta look at the wiki or something. The Omnics, that like after the crisis, they started their own group society sort of thing. It's the one that based in Nepal. It's that one.
Yeah, it's the one that
The
had
Shambali.
the whole,
That's what they are. Yeah,
yes.
that's what they are.
Well, that's the one that
Zen.
Genji and everybody ended
Zen belongs to.
like had their thing.
Yeah. And the leader of the Shambali was killed by Widowmaker in a cinematic.
Cool.
And that's super impactful because in Omnic culture, you can't just rebuild the robot guy when they're dead. They're dead forever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
death is super impactful because there's only a limited amount of Omnics because they can't be made anymore because it's illegal. And so their death is super impactful to them. So now the leader of the, I guess, Omnic liberation movement, I guess you could call it, sort of the leader of the Omnic's, I guess, civil rights movement is a better... What?
Omnic Liberation Movement.
Okay. But yeah, and the fact that he got killed was super important. And so yeah, there you go. Widowmaker is bad, but also impactful. Okay, my favorite character's backstory, since Evan's sort of unresponsive this episode.
Wrecking Ball's cool too.
Okay, but I said to pick one. But my favorite character's backstory...
Winston... I give you my character, and you just throw it in the dirt.
I didn't throw it in the dirt.
Go ahead.
What do you?
Just go.
I had to do most of the talking for your character.
Sky, I have not ate yet. There is Taco Bell sitting in a bag right now.
I haven't eaten either. You don't see me complaining about
that
it.
I can. But I was at work all of today.
I looked at eBay and figured out how to sell stuff on eBay all day, and that's hard work.
You made that choice.
I did make that choice.
Just say your character.
My favorite character's backstory is Reinhardt. He's awesome. He was a part of the Crusaders, and the Crusaders are really cool. Mm-hmm. Not the old Crusaders who went on a holy war in the Middle Ages.
The ones from Germany.
The ones from Germany, which is also sort of a... That doesn't really make sense, but yeah, okay. So the Crusaders in Overwatch was Germany's, I guess, semi-solution to the Omnic crisis. I guess what they thought would be a good idea was to make a bunch of suits of power armor and put a bunch of guys in it, and then give them these rocket-propelled hammers so that they could fight the growing Omnic threat, which I found, first of all, I found hilarious. To be like, okay, there's this highly advanced group of killer robots coming to invade our country.
We're gonna fight robots with hammers.
Which, to be fair, it is power armor. They do have like energy force fields, and the rocket propelled hammers are very powerful, and they're able to shoot like these waves of energy. To be fair to the Germans, but at the same time, you're fighting these robots with hammers, right? But then at the same time, the reason why I like Reinhardt is because of that fact, and because if you watch the cinematic, it's a really good cinematic, probably the best one they made besides Bastion's cinematic, which I think is the best one. Reinhardt's cinematic is really good, and he was sort of a young up and coming Crusader, even though it was a sort of new thing. So he was like the new kid within the new organization. But yeah, and then his mentor basically sacrificed himself for him, and it was the whole thing. I mostly like Reinhardt's backstory because of how ridiculous it is, and the whole thing with the Crusaders, but also just because, you know, it's a classic story, like Obi-Wan sacrificing himself for Luke Skywalker, right? Gandalf sacrificing himself in Lord of the Rings and then becoming even cooler.
I haven't seen
it's 20 years old. You don't get to pull I haven't seen that yet.
I tried to read one of the books and it just I couldn't get into it.
Well, this episode isn't about Lord of the Rings, is it?
It's on my list.
Let's not get off topic, Evan. We've done that enough in the last Overwatch episode.
No, I'm just saying. You can eat my shorts. You know what? I'm gonna take the reins here.
Yeah,
did you know that they're making an Overwatch show?
Finally.
They're making an Overwatch show.
I did know that, Evan. Tell me about it.
In fact, it says here on the wiki that Overwatch's lore is planned to be on par with Diablo, StarCraft, and Warcraft. I'm surprised
What
they
does
did
that
not
mean?
put League of Legends on there in terms of like how expansive it is.
No, but
I'm
they
not sure
picked
exactly what they mean.
they picked Blizzard games, obviously. Those are all Blizzard games.
Right. What I'm saying though is that it's turning a lot. I say turning. League of Legends had this very successful TV show that just came out.
Arcane,
And
very
if
good.
it's
Go watch it.
Yes. Well, I'm just thinking if it's any with how enjoyable the Overwatch characters are and their banter and stuff, I cannot wait to watch this Overwatch show if it's anything like the League of Legends TV show.
And who's doing it? Like, who's doing the show? Like Blizzard's obviously has a hand in it. I feel like that's been happening a lot lately. Like a lot of games have been like, all right, we don't need to make movies. We should make a show, like a mini series or something. League of Legends did it. Dota did it. Fallout's doing it. A lot of games are sort of taking the TV show route instead of just movie.
So it looks like it's pretty much within the Activision Blizzard studio.
Really?
It says an Overwatch TV series is currently being considered and developed by Activision Blizzard Studios. So it sounds like it's within the actual studio. So
Well, that's not good.
What makes you say that?
Because Blizzard and Activision suck as a company, and I don't want to.
Well, I'm just thinking about how more consistent it would be.
That's true because
I mean,
a lot of
think about the Halo TV show that just came out.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, at least imagine if 343 had done it.
Well, okay.
I'm not saying it would have been great, but it wouldn't have. But no, at least it wouldn't have been when it came out, which was just awful.
To be fair,
hey,
to be fair, the League of Legends show, I believe, was directed and I don't want to say written, but at least directed by people who were involved with the game itself.
Which is good. It's just I feel like so often anymore you get these spin-offs, which
that could be completely wrong, by the way. But I am 100% sure that they did get people involved with the game to make the show. I know that for sure, but what role they took, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so Overwatch is expanding that way, you know. Great lore there. It doesn't really expand the lore here, but it says that apparently Overwatch is also looked into possibly having an Overwatch character in Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, neat.
So
we'll see if that ever
up
happens.
there. I mean, I don't know if it will, but if they do, it's going to be up there with, you know, Pokemon and Mario and
You seriously
Minecraft.
can't think of another Nintendo product? Oh, Minecraft. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying not to do just straight Nintendo, but
well, you did pick like the biggest franchise in the world, and then the most
I know.
recognizable
I was just thinking
character
about
in the world.
iconic, whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
And apparently, there's also the possibility of an Overwatch mobile game coming out.
Oh.
So, I mean, Siege has done it, Apex has done it,
Siege did
Fortnite
it?
has done it. Yeah,
When?
it's like it's a newer thing. It's not like it's not like super great. They're like still working. It's like in beta or something.
Oh, okay.
But with that mobile game, there is also that possibility of new upcoming lore.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
So I think Overwatch has a very bright future ahead of it.
Hopefully Blizzard and Activision can get their act together and not be a stupid, dumb company that abuses its employees. But yeah,
I don't care about that. I care about the TV
you don't
show.
care about. I don't care about human rights violations. I want this gosh dang TV show.
I'm joking.
That's
Somebody's gonna cut.
that's
Somebody's
not
gonna
cool,
cut
Evan.
that. Somebody's gonna cut and split the episode, and they're gonna send it out to the news outlets, and I'm gonna get canceled by all 9 listeners.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna get canceled. Yeah, by the media. Yeah, definitely.
And then Baritone Studios is gonna send out a big message that says we don't condone these actions. And
yeah, and then we fire you with settlement. So yeah, me and Francis will take over and we'll run this joint and run it into the ground probably. But in other news, Overwatch lore overall, what do you think, Evan?
I don't think I can say anything new that I haven't said throughout this episode. Just thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, in general, the game is phenomenal, but once you dig a little bit deeper, it's
a very good wiki read. I think we found in this episode.
Well, I think we talked about it before. It was more than we had originally thought, and it's also for it being a more cartoonish game, which we went into during our Apex episode, I believe, about.
Yeah. And I told you you
cartoonish
were crazy.
games. That's not what happened. About how cartoonish games don't necessarily correlate to the player base. That's fine. But
I did, yeah, we did
at
say
first
that.
look,
Yeah.
first look, you see Overwatch. But then once you dig into the lore, like some of this is dark. Like there's a lot of people that are dying, and so I think that's really cool because it's just I don't even know how to say it. It's cool.
It's cool.
Overwatch
yeah,
is neat. Neat game.
Yeah,
Cool
game.
Stories cool.
Story's cool.
Neat.
Okay, my turn. Overwatch. I think it's really cool. But, fix your store, Blizzard. I mean, come on. $20 for some stupid skin?
Yeah. If that is the price of having a game that's free to play, I don't want it.
Boo. Thumbs down. But lore, thumbs up. Fun stuff. I really enjoy it.
If they had some like more cosmetics or lines that were more connected to the lore, I think that'd be awesome. I feel like Siege has it just a tiny little bit.
Like the Night Haven stuff.
Yeah. You just show which characters are a part of Night Haven stuff. Maybe stuff like that would be cool. But like, oh, this is a Widowmaker Talon. Like this is a Talon Widowmaker costume as opposed to
have
her.
But
I mean one that's like all the characters of like all the heroes in Talon have.
They all have one.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, all right. I guess that's the end of the episode. I'm the bad guy for.
I didn't say that,
but okay.
No, I just feel bad for spouting out false information.
No, it's okay, but I corrected you, so that's a learning experience. That's fine.
Fake news.
Before we end this episode, I would just like to offer some explanation for how I conduct myself when talking to Evan. We normally have this dynamic where Evan says something and then I tell him that he's crazy and refute what he says. A lot of times that can come off as me being sort of like, I don't know, I guess
an attitude.
Yeah, they're just being the heel maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I would
never heard that word before.
You never heard that? That's like a wrestling term, even though I've never.
You said baheel?
No, the heel.
Oh, I thought you said baheel.
No.
I'm like, I've never heard of that word before. I've heard of the heel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I would just like to say that a lot of podcasts are just somebody talking and then the other people going yeah, I agree, yeah, totally, and I find that really boring. So when Evan says something that I disagree with or I think is crazy or that I don't understand, I'm going to refute it, ask questions about it or whatever, because that's what a discussion is.
And oftentimes I am not prepared.
Right, like this episode when Evan was reading a wiki for most of the time.
Widowmaker.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, but what about before? And I went, that's just our dynamic. It's natural. It's how we are. He doesn't hate me. I only hate him a little bit.
Yep.
But it's okay because we love each other and we don't behave in a vehemently manner.
Yeah.
But that's
okay because we're friends. That's fine. But yeah, I would just say, I'm just saying that if we didn't have this dynamic, the show would be a lot less interesting.
We'd have 6 listeners instead of 8.
That's my rationale, and hopefully that clears up whatever sort of thoughts you have about Evan and I's friendships. I just want to clear that out as quickly as possible, and boom, there you go.
So Overwatch, it's free to play. Go play it. Not sponsored. Hopefully we should be. If Overwatch could sponsor me, that'd be great. That and Trumu. Trumu is a dream. Check out Overwatch. Dig into the lore. It's great. I am Evan.
Evan just
and
said
this is Baritone Studios. Do Trumu.
You're doing
Best
this again?
Chocolate.
You're stealing the
milk.
You're stealing the outro from me. This has been multiplayer.
And that's funny
Vault
because
discussion.
it's always It's always
We're
on the
outta
profile.
here.